going on, y'all? How's it going, y'all? Haven't talked to you in a while. It's been way too hot in this garage for me to make videos. And I was on vacation a little bit.
How do you like yours, Clark?
Oh, medium rare, a little pink inside.
No, you're fine. Light or dark?
Oh, either way, it doesn't matter. Vicky, can I help you with that Kool-Aid? Please?
And just a bunch of stuff. So, trying to keep the page active. This new AI, along with the incompetence of our dispatch in general, is just like messing everything up. It's ridiculous. I had stuff just all the way into somebody else's route that didn't make any sense. It wasn't a tight circle at all. And the farther they get me away from my pickups, the farther I got to stop, come back and do the pickups. And I have numerous pickups at numerous times. So then I got to go back out to continue delivering so I'm not dead in the water.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
Nothing. Me? Just hanging around.
And then stop and come back to do a very high multi-million-dollar account. I have to go back out again and then finish up my pickups. And the dispatch is just not working very efficiently. And it never really did, but it's really not now. So I think along with the stupidity of just management in general, and now this computer software, it's a mess. So until all of a sudden you get 295s, then all of a sudden, they know how to like run your route. I don't know. I don't know if it's ignorance, incompetence. I don't know what it is. It's insane. But I don't know. I don't let stuff like that frustrate me. I just go out, and they know that. I don't go bugging them, banging on their door. This is fucked up. Blah blah blah. I'm gonna go load my truck for free for 45 minutes. No. I go in, I get in the truck, I do what they give me to the best of my ability, and if they set me up for failure, I make them fail. That's it. Period. Point blank. Period. Freaking guys in there freaking loading your trucks for an hour off the clock. I just don't get you dudes. I don't get anybody. I don't get that shit. It's a Teamster job. You're taking away a Teamster job, number one. Shit fucking annoys me. But anyway, out there running, skipping your break. I get it. I was young for a long time. I didn't have a union. Our local doesn't really enforce like stuff like that. They don't like take the contract and keep their members held to a certain standard. They just don't. And the longer you're there, for the most part, I think the more you recognize like the benefit of that and your responsibility for that. I mean, you're in there making top rate in the industry. You're making your pension, your benefits, the health care, all that stuff, and you have a responsibility to your fellow members because we got that collectively to hold yourself to a standard, and that is to do the right thing. Because the company's not going to do the right thing. The company's not, all they care about is their shareholders. And especially now with Carol Tomei and the CEO, I mean, it's beyond like they don't clean they never really clean the trucks, but they don't do anything for long-term success, in my opinion. Like when was the last time our trucks were swept out, the windows were cleaned, just in general. They come down on you about your shoes and appearance, but that's only because they have something to harass you about. It's not because they want to look good for the public, because they don't. Because the trucks are filthy. The trucks are horrible. And their main agenda is the shareholders, more and more every day, big corporate America, just stomping down on the working man. And luckily we're in a union where we can hold them to a standard because we have safety in our contract. We have fair days work for fair days pay in our contract. We have everything, even labor laws that are integrated into our contract, and we should be using that. And when drivers and members go in and shit on that contract, that pisses me off. And my patience is really getting really thin with that. I get it. I get it. Guys just want to get home. All right? This isn't the job for you. It just isn't. Because they're going to exploit your work. They're going to exploit you as a Teamster. And your quality of life is going to... And I get it. Some days you'll get in at 4. And I wish we could all do that. Just go out and have just a nice 8-hour day and get back and spend time with our families and stuff like that. And there is stuff in the contract that allows you to do that. But... the way not to do that is to take shortcuts and shit on the contract and work off the clock. That should be unacceptable in every union in every building across the U.S. And I think in a lot of locals it is, and just not in ours. And it's kind of one for all for one in our building a little bit. And that shit like really starts to get to me. So that's usually where my I get angry, and I get guys that just want to go home and You know, I don't know. It's when I get in there, it's like I got a 14-hour day. Unfortunately, DOT laws allow us to be out 14 hours. I wish it was 11, like it is the feeder drivers. That's a whole nother argument. But when I go in there, that's what I'm going to do the right thing all day long as much as I can. I'm a human. I'm going to mess up. I get it, but I'm going to do the right thing. I'm not going to shortcut and manipulate things in the morning and shit like that to go home. Like, you're there to work. Like, I mean, you know, like, you're there to make money. So just make money. Like, stop like doing stuff to save them all this money that they should be paying. Money's there for them. The profit is there, like twofold. It's exploded in the past 5 years, 6, 7 years. And it already was good. And now it's like doubled. And we still got guys going in there like working off the clock. Stop fucking doing it, dude. Stop. Take your break. Slow the fuck down. Stop ripping through these neighborhoods and shortcutting. Just fucking stop, dude. It only gets, and as a shop steward, I see it. It only gets guys in trouble because they use you. And not, you know, day by day you'll get away with it. And then when something happens, they throw you right under the bus and they fire you. And now you're sitting there without a job. If you just went in and did the right thing, and if we had a union that came down and held a standard in our building, then it would be a lot easier. I get it. You see it happening everywhere, and you're like, well, I can get away with it. And that shouldn't be the case. But you got to take it, you know, us, especially in our building, we got to take it upon ourselves to do the right thing, you know, because it's just unfair to not do it. And if you don't want to hold yourself to a standard and be a union member, then go work at a non-union job. You can go work at FedEx all fucking day long. They'll let you work off the clock all day long. You know, get off early, whatever you want to do. But not a UPS. Not as a Teamster at UPS. You don't do that. And it sucks. I get it. I want to come home and have meals with my family and stuff. You know, I want to see them. And I do. I use the contract to do that. But I'm not going to sacrifice my dignity in the contract and being a Teamster to do that. And I wish more people took on that role. I don't want to be sound like I'm like better than everybody, or anything. You know. I get it. I was like that for a long time. You know, I came in and did a lot of running and did a lot of shortcuts. I didn't know any better. You know, it took me a long time to figure that out the hard way because I didn't have a very strong union presence, in my opinion, in our building. So, but now I do know, and I'm trying to spread that knowledge, and I'm not trying to be a dick because I know a lot of guys, they do the whole, oh, you're just, you know, they'll say either, you know, you're just laying down on them, and they'll use like words like that, like, you know, to try to make you feel like, and you know, and I get it even as a younger driver, you're like, oh, well, I don't want to be that guy, you know, no, I'm, you know, and then you start doing these little shortcuts and stuff like that, and then it gets you in trouble. No, follow my lead. Follow my lead. I got you. All right. Fair day's work for fair day's pay. Do the right thing. Hold the company to a different standard than what they want. And that comes to this thing, and I'll put a little screenshot up. We had this this message that came out, and this is just one example of many where we as employees have to hold a different standard and do the right thing. You have to work as instructed, as long as it's not safe. If it's not safe, then you don't have to do it. If they tell you to get in a truck with 3 wheels and the other one's flat and they say go deliver it, you don't have to do that. But for the most part, we have to work as instructed, but we can work as instructed and do the right thing. Now, if they tell you to sheet packages, like in this first message, I'll put it up here. If you have any pending errors that cannot be delivered by 10:30, please sheet as emergency conditions prior to 10:30, which doesn't make any sense to me. That's something on their software. They're always about their numbers, right? And then deliver when in the area. Well, that day was like bright, sunshiny day. I mean, there was no storms even in the, I know sometimes they can use that excuse if their plane's coming in from somewhere that had weather and we're sitting here with nice weather. They can use emergency condition, but there was nothing going on that day as far as I know. I mean, it was just this last week in the middle of July. Like there was a bad storm that came in and they didn't use it then, that day, emergency conditions. Now all of a sudden they instruct us to do that. So yeah, so what you do is you just sheet it as EC, but that shows their mentality. You know, they're trying to save their money by what I think is being very sus. They're being very suspect in their actions there. Not caring about the customer, not doing the right thing. And then under that, you have a, this is a second message that some driver sent me this. You have a possible missed ad cuts for your car. If delivering will cause 9.5, please sheet as missed. Can you believe that? They want to have service failures because they've loaded this driver up all week and don't want him to get his third 9.5. You shouldn't, if you're on the 9.5 list, you shouldn't have excessive overtime any day of the week. Unfortunately, our contract still, the way the language is written, we got to get our 2, play the game, and then wait for the third one. Well, he was on his third one. He was, and they had 2 packages, and they said just sheet is missed. I mean, they're probably down the street or whatever, but as long they're putting the responsibility on him. Don't deliver these packages. Sheet them as missed and have a service failure. Because we don't want to pay the penalty of a 9.5, which we shouldn't have set you up for that anyway in the first place. So now we put you in this position where you're going to have your third 9.5, you're going to force the contract because you don't want the excessive overtime, and now we're going to fail our customers because we don't want to pay that penalty or even have the possibility of having that be an issue. Now this customer is in Glen Mills. What if it's a box of medicine from his doctor? Maybe what if it's a birthday present for his daughter? And the birthday's on Saturday. Now because UPS has failed to give this guy his work to fair day's pay to get in at a decent time, they failed to do that. Now on the third day, they don't want to pay the penalty for that because we have a contract because we're the Teamsters and the contract helps us with a better quality of life. And they tell him just F that customer, F that little girl's birthday present, F that medicine, whatever it is, If we did that on our own, if we sheeted it as missed on our own to get in because we wanted to get in and have a dinner with our family, we'd be fired immediately. Dishonesty, cardinal infraction, out the door. And here's management telling you just the hypocrisy and everything. It just drives me wild. And I know I go on and on about stuff, and I'm pretty jaded. I've been there a long time, and I've seen it, and it's just instilled in my brain. I've been beat down with this stuff for all my career, 23 years. So it's very easy for me to rant about this stuff, and I get it. You can probably make like little excuses and stuff for that. But this is the kind of thing you'll see day in and day out for 23 years. And then hypocrisy of it when you do something like that and they fire you over it. And that's what gets you to where you're just an old grumpy man like myself. But I hope that my information shares with you and gives you a better quality of life. And that's why I do this kind of thing. I don't mean to come down and sound harsh about, I get it. Everybody wants to get in. And you're able to do things in this building for whatever reason to help you do that, like work off the clock and stuff like that. And we just shouldn't be doing that. You just shouldn't do that. And eventually you will learn for the most part. Most guys I see that once they get older, not all of them, but when you're here 25 years, you're 50 years old or whatever it is. Some guys got a lot more than that, 30 years, and you're like a few years away from a pension. Usually it starts to sink in, and you're like, man, and you start to realize the benefits of a pension and the benefits of the pay that we get, all possible because your hard work, but the entitlements from that hard work are possible because of the Teamsters. So that's just what I wanted to get across in this little video. Guys, thanks for watching. I'm probably going to make another little video about the Sean O'Brien RNC thing because it's been like radio silence on that, like a lot. Like I've seen a few articles, but not a lot of guys are talking about that. And I know it's a touchy subject, but it's a big subject, and I just don't know why we don't see a lot more out there from members, their opinions and stuff like that. I know it can get really like hostile quick, and I don't want it to be like that. I just want to take a very fair medium approach to it and maybe talk about it a little bit. So maybe that's what I'll do. Either way, they haven't endorsed either candidate yet, but we can kind of see where that's going. So, but anyway, you guys have a good one. Remember, Nick's hopefully on Fridays. Maybe I'll turn that into a little thing, and people can come down and talk, pick our brains. You can come by, have a beer, and tell me to shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I just want to get in, man. I'm just don't get mad at me. I get it. I know you want to get in. I know guys want to get in. But that one thing, once you let that go, your life will be so much better, I promise you. And the young guys that are coming up with the right attitude and taking my stance on that, my 23-year worth of experience on that, I got your back 100%. If they come at you with this fucking production bullshit, I have no problem shoving my shop steward foot up their ass as far as I can. I promise you that. All right, you guys have a good one. See you on the next one.